Right? And them big Shrek looking people, you see them all the time. Look, big goofies, you know. All of the mythic forms is in human form, but this because it's built around the spirit self. The mythic form can be seen peering through the face of the human. Mermaid, the Lyran,
all that.
Right? You can see it peering through the face of the human, and it causes the general structure of the facial cranial features to develop into what they develop into. As you begin to peer,
I seen the devil. I seen an evil entity. Is that just their mythic form?
Beyond the veil, and they start seeing their.
They looking at themselves.
Right.
So, especially when you
look, the first time you face to face with yourself, for real, for some people, that's the most terrifying reality they'll ever have. Being face to face with themselves. We call it shadow work. We call it facing your inner demons.
I talked about this on the show with again. I'd say it later. I want to tell people something. Okay, right.
So when you start facing all of the stuff, you like, for instance, the same person that can't stand so and so because they always sticking their fingers in the pot, walk right behind them, and they mad because they didn't stick their fingers in the pot first.
Woo.
But they want to complain about him sticking his fingers in the pot, so they don't seem petty by just complaining about him sticking his fingers in the pot first.
Oh man, some hella psychology.
All this stuff is to scramble the mind and keep us confused as to who we are, what's going on, and everything gonna be all right. And it ain't no doomsday prophecy. All them doomsday sayers and all that, they probably gonna be the ones with the doomsday for the dirt they did. But the rest of us, regular people, the average person is inherently good. It's the exception to the rule when you come up with the rotten, the no good people, the ones that sell you out for a little bit of nothing. That's not the norm. But the damage they do is so catastrophic that it becomes common knowledge that they exist. We all know it. When this dude come around, guys start tucking their chains in like Debo coming. It's a Debo in every hood. And it's a Craig in every hood waiting to bust him in the face with a brick.
Yeah.
Who don't really want it, but he ain't backing down. I'd be having a histamine response more than anything else. When the energy start moving, it give me a histamine response. It make me start itching all over. But it ain't a regular itch. But really, that's the ionization. Because remember, bees use pollen to fertilize flowers. Right? The coals have to upgrade all genetic matter. Flowers are genetic matter. So the pollen being ionized by those same energies is giving it a whole bunch of what we call neutral additions to it in order for it to transport more information in the genetic field. Right? So you can only do two things. You can go to war or you can make love. You can't do both at the same time. Right? And if the flower is defending itself, the pollen is an agitator. But if the pollen is upgraded for a special reproductive purpose, now it's not an adjutant, right? It's more conducive than it is agitating. Right? We need more bee farmers. We need to put an APB out on all sisters that want to raise bees. We need way more bee farmers. We don't have enough. And remember, they're making honey out of this ionized pollen, too.
That's right.
Ooh.
Some people, you got to follow You start eating by will start eating by instinct. If you ain't hungry, don't eat. If you're hungry, eat. But your appetite can be affected, and sometimes some of us won't be able to eat for days at a time, and then sometimes we be gorging for 3 days in a row. So the energy gonna move you what to eat, when to eat, because you gonna have a unnatural craving for something. That means go get that. Right?
Yeah.
All that's part of spiritual awakening. Because your body know where chemicals at in the food that you ain't and didn't even know was in the food.
That you need, right?
Yeah. So when you going through an awakening, you had them strange cravings. I want to eat pickles and cucumbers dipped in ranch. I ain't never ate that shit before. Now all of a sudden I want that shit. Right? Because now something in my memory in my body saying the last time we was able to find that combination, it was in the pickle and it was in the cucumber. And it was something in the ranch that made it palatable. Right? So the body is talking to us. If we don't listen, then we don't listen. But it will affect appetite. Sometimes it'll give you a redundant appetite where you only want to eat one thing most of the time.
Indeed.
Look, somebody in the comments said pickle is a cucumber. Well, I'm glad they mentioned that because people don't understand when you process the cucumber into the pickle, it changes the chemical composition of the cucumber.
It does.
So what was in the pickle ain't in the cucumber. And what's in the cucumber is no longer in the pickle.
Too different, right?
Right. So because the chemistry's been changed.
Right.
So the body will put that together. Boom, boom, boom.
Damn.
And tell you,
right.
That's a ritual in and unto itself. And then different cultures do it for different reasons. Right. When you read about them doing it in, I think it's the book of Obadiah in the Bible, they're doing it to represent grief. When you go to India, they put the sacred ash on their face. Right. And that's because Hanuman covered his whole body in sacred ash because he say, the way I'm made, I need a whole bunch of blessing. So he said, if a little bit of it is good, I got to cover myself with it because I need a whole lot of it for what I am.
A lot of it.
Right. And then you have the monks that emulate that. So you got different causes, different purposes for putting the dirts and the ashes on your skin. In some African tribes, they turn the ash into paint and put art on their face. But it's all for a different purpose. Peel mentioned something a minute ago about the feet. A lot of people don't know you have a chakra in the instep of your foot on both feet. Just like you have a chakra in each of the palms of your hand. And when you grounding, the earth is the most stable energy on earth. Everything else that's stable on earth had to be attached to the earth for stability. So if the energy is the most stable energy and you going through an awakening, you need to tie into the great stabilizer. The other strategy is the trees. Put your feet on the ground, sit at the bottom of the tree and lean your back against it. The tree and the earth is the two most stable energies we know of because the nature of the tree is the stable energy. That's why the roots have to dig deep the higher the tree go. As above, so below, maintaining the balance. As far as for people ask for rituals, everybody got different spiritual paths that they walk. We can't give them one ritual for everybody because your energy, you have to be into the ritual in order for it to be effective. If you faking it, the spirit gonna say, oh, he don't mean it, so don't do nothing about that. Right? But soon as you sincere, that's the feather of the heart and the weighing of the heart. It's your pure intentions. So if your pure intentions instruct you that you need to do a ritual, do the ritual however you feel like doing it. The most potent ritual anyway is the one you write for yourself.
Indeed.
That's what they don't want you to know, so you can rely on their religious constructs and give all the energy to them that you can be using to make your best life. Keep your energy. Write your own ritual. Write
Real
your
quick.
own sigils.
Man,
Look, I know people in the north that come from the south that send home for the dirt. And it also could have been your genetic memory reminding you of something you did in the past life.
Yes.
Look, anytime you're dealing with your inner demons, the first place to start is not gonna be how you going. But the first thing that you have to do is everything you hate in other people, make sure that it's not in you. That's your first step. Because your inner demon is the one always tricking you that you the one right when you wrong as hell.
Damn.
It's the first step. That's all you can do is take the first step and the next step to follow. Once you go in a direction, you're gonna start walking the path. So you go through them first. See if you got any of that. You a kleptomaniac? You a sex addict? You know. Go through the 7 deadly sins. You a glutton? You lazy? Then fight that shit. If you find that you inherently lazy, every day find something to do. Because now you are overriding that negative trait, and that's called slaying your inner demon. Also, your inner demon is unresolved traumas. As long as the unresolved trauma continue to affect your present life, you living with a demon on your back. Most of those demons are generational curses, which is energy from an ancestor. Your alcoholic ancestor don't want nothing more than for you to be an alcoholic like him to validate his fuck up. All the rest of your ancestors said, don't listen to that alcoholic ass nigga. He gonna have you strung out in alcohol. Right? And as soon as you tell that alcoholic ancestor, I ain't finna be participating in that shit, then all of the rest of the ancestors start serving as your spiritual protection to make you go sit your punk ass down. You heard the baby say she don't want nothing to do with you. Go sit your drunk ass down somewhere. You're not finna get the baby intoxicated on alcohol for the rest of her life. They'll correct it for you if you strap on your ovaries or testicles enough to tell that energy, I don't want you to use me as your outlet. Just like you got good ancestors, you got some foul motherfuckers too.
Damn.
And if you don't confront the foul motherfuckers, your good ancestors can't say nothing to them.
Right.
You got to defend yourself in order for them to defend you.
Facts.
Some real shit, Rod.
And the
that's the shit people don't want to hear.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to be all peaches and cream. Half of these niggas' ancestors was the ones that sold out everybody else on the plantation. And now they over here trying to convince us that we from somewhere else so they can support that same bloodline bullshit. You think that energy just stopped because that person died? They pass that shit on, contagion, aberration. Passing them psychological defects down family lines like they passing flu. That's the hard part. Because we've been taught to stay in the position of victim for so long that when it comes time for us to not be a victim, it leaves a void. We don't know what to replace it with. And it leaves a void. You have to find enough self-esteem in yourself, call your good ancestors to run your bad ancestors away. If you had issues with your mama and daddy, your granny, tell your mama, come get your daughter. She ain't right. You tell your daddy, come get your son. He ain't acting right. He trying to get me to hold on to this traumatic bullshit. I don't want to hold on to it. The only reason why we tormented by it because we keep reliving it. You can't undo it. You got to come to that realization. Since you can't undo it, then you have to surrender the hold that it have on you because you can't undo it. It already happened.
Already happened.
Right? And because it already happened, you're not going to change it from already being done took place. You can only change how you respond to it.
Right.
Right? It's just like now. A person walk up to me on some shenanigans, I'm going to give them every out before I chop them in the throat. But believe me, I can't wait till that last out is up so I can chop them in the throat. But I still got to do my due diligence to peacefully resolve the matter.
Right. Right.
And when I see that me peacefully resolving the matter not going to work, throat chop. Lead with love, but master the throat punch. That's, you know, because just because you trying to be righteous don't mean you ain't going to have to chop somebody in their throat or push their snap box back. That might happen. You think all these preachers, you don't think none of them get down and get down with you? They come from the block.
Right, yeah.
Some of these preachers will whoop the brakes off some of these gangsters. But because he thought that the church was the right way, he tried to change his life. You taking his kindness for weakness as if he wasn't a goon in his younger days. That's the same with people like us. I know I can look at Blue Pill and tell what he came through that was similar to what I came through. Same with you, Rich. And then it automatically give me an automatic built-in respect because, man, against all odds, we ain't even supposed to be here.
Not doing this.
Every prophecy about our lives when we was growing up, they said we wasn't going to make it to C21.
Yeah.
I'm 55 years old. How the hell I get here?
Do a lot. Right, that part.
You know what I mean? So that in itself, and then when I see y'all, I know y'all done been through similar background because we all have. And I'm like, man, we got to be some cold pieces of work because we done went through some stuff and we still here. We ain't supposed to be here.
Right.
But we supposed to be here. The thing about activating the macabre, the average person right now is too lazy. We too fast food culture. The first thing you have to do is center all your energy to core. And that requires a certain level of discipline and mental control that the average person, when they start applying that level of discipline and mental control, abandon the project. It's hard. But goddamn right it's hard. Or else everybody would have an active macabre if it wasn't hard.
That part.
And we always want the easy way to get it. Some stuff I can give you a shortcut. Like in resolving past trauma, when you look at life as life resistance exercises, the more trauma you went through, the stronger you had to be for the job you got coming up. If you look at it from that perspective, your past traumas become the weight in the weight room. Every time you leave the weight room, you don't take the weight with you. You just go in there to pick stuff up, put stuff down, and build your body. Your life resistance exercise is the trauma you left behind. You lifted it while you was going through it. You done with that now. Move on to your next set and your next program. It's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be painful. You gotta remember, we ain't got no emotions when we ain't in the physical. So we can't live in our emotions while we in the physical. We use our emotions to navigate life. It's a difference. If you're living in an emotion, you stuck in that emotion. It's the same as a car being stuck in one gear. Transmission need to be fixed. In this case, the transmission that needs fixing is the internal communication with the self. You got to ask yourself, do I want to remain the victim or do I want to turn myself into a conqueror? That's your choice.
Person.
You know, so activating the macabre is not easy. I can give you 1,000 tips all day long about doing this part to activate this and all that, but most people are not going to do all that shit. It's too much stuff. It's just too much stuff. They're not going to do it. This is like people be coming on Chief Whatnot asking him about his airbending, how long it take him. He said, I've been doing this for this long. They said, that's too long. You got to start somewhere.
Mm.
Nobody won't take the first step, and they wonder why they can't get the journey of 1,000 miles completed. Because you won't take the first step.
That part.
If you take the first step, you might end up on the curb in front of a taxi that's there to take you to the airplane to get you on the third journey to 1,000 miles in short order. But you thinking that the only way is to walk because you
Right.
cut off your vision. But when you make the step in the direction of the journey, the road opens itself up. You don't have to open it.
Mm.
It's the same with developing any spiritual faculty. You got to be willing to take the first step. And then you got to be disciplined enough to continue to walk. As you learn, each step got a different angle that you got to step. Right? And the more that you do that, the more you begin to see this shit easy as hell. I just was too lazy to do it.
Timing. How long ago was it that Cleopatra came up missing? 2,000 years ago. 2,000 years ago. Do the math. Now, as a female pharaoh, they named her Cleopatra, which in Greek means father lover. But that was not an Egyptian name. That was not her name in Egypt. Now, they demonized the Egyptians as they used the Egyptian information to conceal the truth. The very name Abraham is a misnomer in how it is presented. It is an Egyptian word, and it always has been, because it's part of breaking this spell that was conjured up in Babylon in order to subdue the mother in a matriarchal people, which was us. Now, how do I know this? Because I'm talking about my mama. I'm talking about St. Augustine Shirley Hayes. And you need to pay close attention. Now, what happened was they tried to crucify her. And they tried to put her to death. But wisdom precedes justice. In order for her to be allowed to be put to death, then she would have to have a date in which she could return. So they give us the Jesus story in order to conceal the truth. Now, ask these people in power, where is Cleopatra? Where's she at? They can't tell you, and they won't, because it tell you right in your biblical book that she was taken up as the Christ. How do I know this? Because of the clue that King James left us when he created the letter J. Now notice his name is James. He created the letter J, so his name couldn't have never been James to begin with. As a mystic, we told to pay attention to those things because those are clues. So what was the J in Greek? It was an I. So let's do the math. If Jesus in Greek is spelled I-E-S-U-S, right? How do you pronounce that in Greek? Well, the rule of grammar to apply is called Grimm's Law of Grammar. And it goes like this. When you put two vowels together, the second vowel becomes silent. The vowel behind the first consonant after that carries the long form. This is simple grammar and you can check it out. It's not hard to find this information. So then the pronunciation of Jesus in Greek is Isis. They already told you who the Christ was, and you wasn't paying attention. You fell asleep. You fell asleep. You fell asleep. Now check this out. They tried to crucify her, but the angels came and take her up. So when they rolled the stone, she wasn't in there. But they telling you it was him. And they calling him the Christ when he is not. That's why it's a verse in Matthew where it says, many will run up to me in that day and say, Lord, I have cast out demons. I have raised the dead, healed the sick, all in your name. And the Lord will turn and say, get thee hence, I know you not. Now, in order to understand how this all takes place, the first 4 books, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, is part of a 21-part play presented at the Nicene Council. The author of the 21-part play name was Josephus Flavius. Josephus Flavius was a playwright, historian, and he worked for the enemy of his people, so to speak. But he left a clue all throughout the vein, because this is a different view of how, so he's telling you, don't get stuck on one viewpoint of how to look at the Christ. Because if you get stuck on one viewpoint, you will be captured by the seduction of what comes next after the acts. You see? So they told you the 4 different viewpoints when it was actually originally 21 viewpoints before you got to the acts. And the 21 viewpoints uncovered all of the 12 disciples, the Christ herself, or they call it the Gospel of Mary. And then they tried to make it look like she's talking about somebody else. But this is the Christ being revealed to who she is. This is the renting of the veil. This is the presentation of truth for the chosen righteous of the Lord. Y'all can either wake up and encompass this love energy that she brings when she returned for her children. Because she raised me personally to do this and told me that wisdom precedes justice. And in order for us to be liberated from the oppressive nature of our natural enemy, out of this Babylonian conjure, they used 2 spells. They fabricated a human, and they call it a golem. Look it up. It's not a secret. They also took an existing human that was a natural human, and they merged them, and they told you it was Adam and Eve. But it's more to that story, and we're not going to get too deep in that because we're focusing on exactly what the Holy Ghost is. Okay, now let's do a quick recap. I told you about the mitochondrial facilitating the energy flow of the bioelectromagnetic beings that we are. This can be verified, and I'm gonna leave the references after I get done. I'm just gonna start posting references in the comment section, and y'all can go through the references, and then everything that I just said, you can go back over it, match the reference to it, where somebody explained how it works in detail. I'm just doing a quick brush over of it. So basically, those on the pursuit of wisdom, the wise man, the one who chooses to seek the wisdom, has to reach a certain level of wisdom. When he reached that, that's why in the Old Testament it always talks about being wise, but in the New Testament it always talks about love. This is 2 sides of the same coin. Because if you're going to become Christ conscious, you first have to seek wisdom, and then when the heavens see that you are sincere, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, it's going to lay the rest of it out for you. It's going to be easy after that. Because then they're going to do something you might not like it like you think you is. They are going to smash you with so much love that it's going to make people think you are literally insane. You have lost your mind. Something is wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. Okay? But that is the first phase of receiving the entire Holy Ghost. Now, once you are fully realized with the Holy Ghost, according to the book that they call the Bible, that they stole the information from the hieroglyphics, you got to always remember they use what we already knew in order to oppress our minds. Because our genetic memory recognizes everything I'm saying. Inside us, we already know the story. So they can't let us go inside us and get the story. So what do? They distract us. You know, they shoot us down in the street and make us march So that we can't realize that if we stop and go within, they can't do nothing on the outside. If we stop and realize the Christ within, they can do nothing on the outside. We don't have to shoot nobody. All we have to do is realize our Christ consciousness within. Once that wisdom and that love merge, they call that in mystic studies the phoenix rising, a fully realized Christ conscious being. The one that comes is the one who tells you who the Christ is and makes the way for the Christ. Now, the people that do the thing in church where they can't contain themselves, it's because they can only process this energy through their lower three chakras. It stops before it gets to the heart chakra. The heart chakra is the energy center where you realize the divine love. The love of the great mother. When you look in the stars at night and you see what looks like it's black in the background, that is the womb of creation itself. We are within that womb. Within that womb of creation, the essence, they call it dark matter. In ancient Egypt, we called it the Nun, N-U-N. Now, the Catholic Church has suppressed the nunnery. I'm going to evict the Pope and all of his pedophile priests, so don't worry about that. He have to go. He already know he have to go, and he's shaking scared. All of them are. They know. Anyway, Mama said they got to go, they got to go. So the next thing is, if they allow you to become filled with that love that fills that fourth chakra, that heart chakra, at the same time you facilitate that love energy, you cannot be oppressed. It's not possible. It's not possible. They are aware of this. So now, to shorten it up, the Holy Ghost is the energy that we receive from heaven through our mitochondrial processing at its optimum capacity, pure spirit, into our physical bodies, making our whole bodies filled with the light of the Christ. Where it says in the Bible, where both eyes become single, thine whole body shall be filled with light. This is what they call the Holy Ghost. This is not the myth, but if you pay attention, look at the art. In the Catholic Church, the Holy Ghost is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, right? It's the three-part, the Trinity. But where did the Catholic Church come from? Well, it came from Constantine assembling people, but where did they get their doctrine? I just told you it came from Egypt. How do I know this? The Trinity. What are the Trinity in Egypt? It's Osar, Aset, and Heru. This is the Trinity, but the culture is patriarchal. In order to suppress the woman and keep us from realizing our greatness, when a realized man and a realized woman become one, this is what they call the marriage of the Christ. Both fully realized, divine masculine, divine feminine in Egyptian terms. When they both become fully realized, at that point, they become like the remote control batteries, and they can change reality together in a moment's notice. That is what this whole conflict of what they call good and evil has been about. Because all of us are born with a blocked heart chakra with something that they call black goo. You have to go through a certain amount of refinement in order to get enough love energy to break through the black goo. That reference will also be in the link. So not to hold y'all too long on this topic, I didn't see any questions pop up, but I will go into more information over time. I can't give y'all the world in a day. But just know this. I'm about to change everything right in front of y'all face. Everything. All of them gotta go. Watch what I say. As my mama would say, mark my words and check your mind, because I'm going to be with you all the time. Pay attention. Don't miss the signs. They are telling you their time is up and mama is on her way home to collect her righteous children. So those who are not prepared to receive the full love of the Christ, that energy will be too much for your broken down, ill bodies to contain. The love is so great, I cannot put it in words, nor can I put it in glyph form where your brain would be able to grasp the love of the divine. So we was talking about actually what exactly is the Holy Ghost, Jenna. You probably missed most of the video. I'm going to post it on my site so you can go back over it, because the Lord has called you and you act like you don't hear me when I'm talking. So pay attention, sister, because I'm going to do a brief over of everything I just did. I'm not going to do the full lecture, but just to give y'all newcomers a quick brief, and then I'm going to post it. I want y'all to go back because I got to put the references in the link so they can understand. So the Holy Ghost is the spirit that comes in to animate the human body through the mitochondrial. The matrix is in the mitochondrial. This is how they're telling us we are trapped. Because our bodies is so sickly that we cannot facilitate the rapid introduction of heavenly energy into this corruptible body. This is what it say: you was born in iniquity and shaped in sin. It's not that you are automatic sinner, first of all, because they don't tell you this in the church, but sin was not an act. It was a god out of Babylon. And to be a sinner was to practice the rites of that god known as sin. This is all verifiable. And as I go through the video, I'll be adding references everywhere I see I need to add them. And y'all can go over the references. This is important information. And this is how y'all going to know the real from the fake. Because everything I'm going to say, I'm going to give you a reference for you to look it up. And it's going to make sense when you tie it all together. Because this devil got to go. And I'm about to run him out of here. So the energy that comes in through the mitochondrial accelerate the chakras, which are your boosters, your energy boosters, your relays, like they have on the electric line. And as this energy fills your whole body, it illuminates both sides of the brain. Once both sides of the brain are fully illuminated with this love energy and this wisdom, at that point right there, you become fully realized Christ conscious and you cannot be oppressed. There's nobody that can oppress you. And you get to realize your birthright. For those who consider themselves African Americans or black and they read the Constitution, you know the 3/5 compromise say that those who they call slaves can only be taxed 3/5. There's a reason that they were not allowed to tax them in totality, and it's not because of their status in servitude. The reason being is because the other 2/5 is God. You can't tax a God, but the God not woke. You cannot tax a God. They know this. Now, I'm gonna give you another piece of information. I didn't want to give y'all too much, but I'm gonna give it to you. You cannot tax a God, you cannot oppress a God. But if the God doesn't use his will, you can have it until he decides he wants it back. In everything that they are doing is to suppress your will. They want to use it, and it's produced in the real world. It looked like money. It looked like money. From a young rapper named Triple X. This shit heavy. So I'm gonna do some invites because this is very unexpected, unintended. But I gotta put this out in the public domain. I gotta tell the people what the fuck they doing. So this young kid in my head, he keep telling me, bro, you got him, bro. You got him. Don't bag off of him. It's him, bro. He a rotten motherfucker. He's no good. And I was
investigating young Dolph shooting. Triple X say, I ain't dead, bro, but you talking to me, but I ain't dead, bro. He said, you gotta listen to me, bro. It's about the frequencies. They fucking with the frequencies. That's what my whole shit was about, was the frequencies. I was trying to tune us back into the right frequencies. Bro, you gotta tell him, bro. You got him. You got him in the right where you need him, bro. It's expose that shit. Put it out in the public. Let the people decide. Tell him what I'm telling you. He ain't no good, bro. He's a fake. He a fraud. He ain't no good. All he want to do is get that dead celebrity status money. That's where he at. He's trying to get dead celebrity status money. Status money. That's all it's about. He said this is they got him, bro. They got young Dolph, bro, and they.
Give me number 5. Come on, we halfway there.
Yeah,
The 10 Ride Commandments.
Yeah, number 5 would be ooh, I like that one. Honor thy mother and thy father, that days may be long.
Honor your mother and your father. I like that one. I respect that one. Give me number 6 of the 10 Ride Commandments.
Do what you ought to do and what you know you ought to do, without
All
no
right.
extras. You can add extras if you want to.
So that's like sticking to your word.
Not, you don't have to be your word.
Okay.
You know, as a man,
Do what you
have
ought
to work.
to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
But basically, it's best found in stoicism.
All right.
You know, you do what you know you're supposed to do. You don't nobody tell you. Don't nobody have to tell you that you need to get your flat changed when you get a flat tire in your car.
Okay.
You know you have to do it. You can't go nowhere without it. If you know you ought to do something, just do it. You know. The next is avoid greed.
All right. That's 7. Avoid greed.
Avoid greed. Greed right there, it'll keep you in the lowest possible vibration, and it's the wrong
Avoid
time.
greed. Avoid greed. Okay. All right. We number 8 of the 10 Ride Commandments. I mean, this basic. I might ask y'all this. I wonder if y'all got 10 commandments, and y'all can say, yo, man, just these are the 10 articles of faith we're going to deal with, and if y'all in my community, this is how I operate. So we at number 8.
Number 8 was let your God light shine.
Let your God light shine.
At all times.
I respect that.
Don't fear it. Don't fear. Other people are going to fear when your God light starts to shine, and they're going to give you every excuse for you not to let it shine.
Okay.
But you have to not surrender your will, which is number 9. Never surrender your will, which should have been number 1.
Hold up. Number 8 was what? You shine your God light?
Yep.
Shine your God light. And number 9 is never fear.
Never surrender your will.
Never surrender your will.
Now that kind of like seemed contradictory in a group society, but this is the method. You're not supposed.
Hold up. Run that back because I want you to say that so people can hear what you just said clear. As far as the group society, run that what you just said.
Right. So it might seem difficult not to surrender your will.
Okay.
In a group society because you seem like, or you would believe that because you're in a society with other people that you have to surrender your sense of self in order to fit in, which is not the case.
Go ahead. I like that. I like where you're going with this. This makes sense. I liked it.
Right.
Go ahead.
Okay, so surrendering your will, you don't do that. What you do is you find people that believe in your core belief systems, your
facts.
You know, you
I like
do right by other people, treat people well, have a good heart, and all that kind of stuff. And once you find that, you align your will. You don't surrender. Joe said
on your channel how he feels about the ego. How you feel about the ego? And what do you? Hold up, Joe. He got one more. He got one more after the 10 Ride Commandments. After the 10 Ride Commandments, we're going to ask them about the ego tripping situation. So we at number 9. Never surrender your will. Give me number 10 as the 10 Ride Commandments.
Number 10 would be, if you don't surrender your will, you're going to pretty much be good. But always, when you are letting your God light shine, do not start from the beginning.
What do you mean? You got to.
I'm about to break it down into a rule.
You said number 8 was let your God light shine.
Right.
So give me number 10.
So number 10 is that when you preparing to let your God light shine, you have to calibrate your brain to accuracy. So number 10 would be always seek accurate information.
Seek accurate information. How can one discern what's accurate and what's not accurate in these days?
Okay, now it's a process of calibration. It's not about determining what's accurate or not, because your God self is gonna sort it once you condition your physical self to tune in to what the God self is saying. And you do that by always asking yourself when you get done assimilating a piece of information is it accurate? And if it's not, where is it accurate? Over time, you're going to condition yourself to accuracy of information. Then you're going to automatically see when something's out of place. That's not right. That's wrong.
All right. Okay, so my question, I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna go over the 10 commandments that you said.
Yeah.
All right, for all the people that was watching on his channel, everybody that's watching on my channel. All right, so the first commandment was love your neighbor as yourself. The next one, family first. The next one was raise your child. The next one was what? Treat people right. Yeah, treat people like yourself. You said it's a difference between loving somebody and treating somebody.
Right.
So your fifth rule was honor your mother and father. The sixth rule was do right. Do right. I don't get that. We're gonna run back to do right.
Do what you ought. Do what you ought to do.
Oh yeah, do what you ought to do. What you supposed
to do.
All right. Number 7 was avoid greed. Number 8 was let your God light shine. Number 9 was never surrender your will.
Right.
And number 10, you said was seek accurate information. Mm-hmm. So my question is this. I only got one question in this. Where do you put God in this? Because I didn't see God in none of these things as in the 10 commandments. Where does the God and the spirituality go in this? Because
number 8.
What you say?
Number 8.
Number 8. Let your God light shine.
Yeah, because if you ain't got no God light, if you ain't got no God, you ain't got no God light.
Okay, I respect that.
And all of those things, when you put them together, are expressions of that light.
All right, I respect that.
So when they say, I am my creator, I one, this is what they're talking about.
Okay. So you take that to number 8. All right, that's cool. I just wanted to know, because it's a lot of people, you going to see, like you being on Facebook, you being in different places, you touch different people. Your battery get run out. So we get in the interview. Mm-hmm. All right, but we'll continue it on my channel.
Yeah, let the phone die.
Yeah, we'll
continue.
All right. Like I was saying, like we got, when you speaking on Facebook, you speak in public, you got different people coming from different walks of life. So if you say let your God light shine, my God might not be your God. How do you deal with that?
I don't, because I cannot tell you who and what your God is. I can only tell you who and what my God is.
Okay, I respect that.
Just because,
I say that a lot too.
Just because I accept who and what my God is, does not mean I will accept yours. Example, I accept the Christ in the New Testament, but I do not accept the beast in the Old Testament.
Okay.
I don't accept that one that was busting up people when Bible dividing their language so they can't communicate. That's the devil, divide and conquer.
Okay.
Right there in our face. But that one in the New Testament that said, love thy neighbor as thyself, and whoever treats one of these children right is the greatest. That's the one I like.
Okay, I respect that.
But I can't tell nobody, like a person can worship a rock if they want to. That's their option. They surrender their will to a rock. Surrender your will to a rock. That's your God.
All right. So I got one more question for you before we're going to end the interview.
What did that brother ask that we were supposed to go back to?
He asked you about ego. How do you feel about ego, and what do you consider to be
that's
ego?
The matrix.
What do you mean?
Okay, now let me show you where the ego comes from first.
All right. What do you mean it's the matrix? Because matrix means
tie it all together.
Matrix means womb.
Right. Well,
so
we're talking
let's
about
clarify. Let's make sure you clear.
Okay, when we talk about matrix, we're talking about the illusionary reality we live in, as in the movie.
All right, illusionary. All right, I respect that.
Remember when Shakespeare
I
said,
respect that illusionary reality. I respect that.
remember Shakespeare said
I respect
the world
that.
is a stage and we all just actors?
Yeah.
Okay, now, this is what he's talking about, the ego. Because the ego is developed. When you're born, you have no sense of where you are, what's going on around you on a conscious level. Subconsciously, you can control everything, but you don't know it consciously.
All right.
Okay, so now you don't know, like, how do I fit in this society? So you start watching people's response to who you are.
Okay.
And based on how other people respond, you start to build a personality.
All right.
Once this personality is completed in 7 years, this personality becomes you.
Okay.
But this is what they call a cutout. It ain't the real you. And this is the whole struggle, is to break past the social construct of who you are and get to the divine reality of who you are, the
Okay.
self-realization.
Okay. All right. So, I got one more conclusion question. Before we get off. Far as I got one more conclusionary question. What do you consider to be the devil? Because
The word devil literally...
Hold. Let me I want to say this.
Okay.
Because, we was talking about the devil earlier, right? And I know when people say the devil, people start going. As soon as I say the devil, they're gonna start catching the Holy Ghost. So, can you please be clear on your perspective and where you stand at, your stance on who and what the devil is in these days and times, and also in antiquity? All right.
All right.
In these days and times and
Okay, before we can even deal with who and
right.
what the devil is, we got to first go to the etymology or the origin of the word.
All right.
The word devil only mean your enemy. The word devil, it don't mean no dude with no pitchfork and no horns. It don't mean nobody live in a fire pit. It don't mean nobody live in the ground under your feet. The word devil mean your enemy. So,
All right.
if you go to war somewhere, if you go to war with the dude down the street, he your devil.
Okay.
If you're arguing with the teacher at school, at that moment, that's your opposition, that's your devil.
Okay, I respect that.
That's when you go back to what the word really means.
Okay.
If you want to use the word demon, that don't even mean what people think either. The word demon means a spirit. That's it.
All right.
It is neither good nor bad. It's just a spirit.
Okay.
All right. And these things right here is what confuses us, because we don't even know what the word means, so we get caught up in the sensationalism of dogma. The dogma traps us. So that's what happens with the religions, and that's why people become rebellious to them after so long.
Okay.
And so I don't like pure evil. There is some pure evil, but the pure evil that we speak of had a shelf life, and it's expired.
All right. What do you mean by that? Because I asked you, what is the devil? I'm trying to be clear on what you feel the devil is, bro.
I think the devil.
You know what I'm saying?
The devil is flat out anything that's in opposition to your greatest good.
All right, I respect that. That's clear.
That's the flat out.
I want people to be clear when we talk. I want people to be clear, because a lot of times everybody's juggling their problems, everybody juggling their situations during the live feed. So if I ask you what the devil is, I want everybody to know how you feel about that, so we can move forward, just in case.
The devil is anybody or anything that interferes with you becoming your best self.
Okay, I like that. I can stamp that.
And that's automatically gonna make it your enemy.
All right, I can
Which
stamp
goes
that.
to the word devil, meaning enemy. That's your opposition.
All right, so let me ask you. That's all the questions I'm gonna ask. Matter of fact, can you say something else in conclusion? The topic of discussion is, who is Dr. Rod, the Walking University? So can you say something to the people in conclusion? Just give me something, a two minute dissertation of who and what you are and what you represent in conclusion for the
Well,
people.
In conclusion, basically what I represent or who I am is I'm the crown prince
Okay.
of heaven and earth. I am the last initiate of the Melchizedek priesthood of the highest order.
Okay.
And I'm only now awaiting
All right. So I don't know if anybody can see this video because my computer not acting right. But this is called The Blood and the Rights. Why the righteous suffer and the wicked seem to prosper. So in understanding what's going on in the world with all of these wars, neighborhood killings, street fights, um, slaughterhouses, mass killing of mercy killing the animals, the shedding of the blood. The blood has an energy, and when you are in what they call in India a Kali Yuga, which is a rest state for certain types of humans with extra abilities. These humans, when they're in the Kali Yuga, they're in a dormant state. They're in a hibernation state, like a caterpillar in a cocoon. But under certain circumstances, they can wake up and become very, very dangerous. And so, yeah, right. I've been having problems with it, but I just want to go ahead and put the information out there and see how it rolls. So anyway, in keeping with the Kali Yuga, it is also the cleansing phase in the great cycles of time. So you have various aspects of creation. It's like they use the Trinity in India as Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva as a creator god, the sustainer god, and the destroyer god. But what they are indicating is the various aspects of what they call chronos or time. These aspects of time are ruled by a certain type of energy. And the energy that rules it determines what rules must be followed during that period. So then we get to the blood. So the blood of the righteous is allowed to be spilled until they become aware of who they are. So this goes to U.S. Constitution, the 3/5 Compromise, when they said that no black man had any right a white man was bound to respect. That's accurate in that the 3/5 aspect, because that is your RH positive or your monkey aspect, which they have the same thing. And so as long as your 2/5 aspect remains at rest, they are free to reign over you and do whatever they want to do to you until you become 5/5 realized. So now, when we get to the spilling of the blood, this is what keeps you asleep. Because with the blood, it creates a fear, an adrenaline permeating the air. They call it an utmost fear. So when you thinking they saying atmosphere as in a dome around the planet, they saying that too. But your mind is processing two different things. So what is the other part? The utmost. So in order to know what the utmost is, you have to go to your Egyptian studies and find out who is the guy utmost. Because this is the God that they are teaching you to fear. Because utmost, being an atmospheric entity,
meaning that he's governor of a aspect of air. So he has to keep a certain vibration in the air in order to keep certain individuals from becoming fully realized. And the only way to do that is to keep the blood and the adrenaline in the air. And so, guy I did a video with before, Tasmaniac, he had a video about adrenochrome, which is the adrenaline. When they sacrifice the babies, like the queen and them over there, they like to eat babies and drink baby blood in they rituals. We never knowing that what they doing in these palaces and in these churches like the Vatican is they are controlling the energy that hold the purse strings of earth. So as long as they can control it. So this is the blood. This is the spilling of the blood. It's to keep you sedated. It's like spraying you with chlorophyll, and it keeps you in a slumber state. It's a ancient Babylonian magic technique. So you will hear people pulling the veil back, talking about this is Babylonian, like this dude sitting here, right? But this is not what they're talking about. It said the Dawes role was aimed to bring Indians into mainstream of American life by making them live like the white man. And so it's trying to make you be something that you're not.
Okay, go ahead. You going in?
That's out the gate. It's telling you that right there. Okay, now what's the next one? The Indian resisted. That's a standalone statement. The Indians resisted. All right, now you look at his name.
It's Senator Henry
Dawes. That's who the Dawes role was named after. Right? Okay, now let's go to the next one.
Got it.
Okay, now let's go over this. What was the 1887 Dawes Severalty Act?
Go ahead.
Right? Now, it said the Dawes Act granted the president authority to divide up native lands into individual allotments. Land was placed in trust for 25 years. Excess land could be bought by the federal government and sold to non-natives. 1902, the Dead Indian Act. This is what makes you a straw man right here. 1902. Now, this is all under the Dawes role.
Keep it around.